I am like ridiculously excited about who I'm sitting here with today for Girls Night, tonight for Girls Night. It's night for me, it's day for you. I'm sitting here with my new friend, Shanna Skidmore. Shanna, welcome to Girls Night. How have you never been here before? This is crazy.
I know. When you said 2017, well, I'm so honored to be here. I'm excited to chat. We are probably in life, maybe a somewhat similar season with littles. Yeah, let's just talk business and finance and all the things. Thanks for having me.
I love it. I love it. Well, okay. So for women who have not been following along as closely as I have, tell us who you are, what you do, and a fun fact about yourself.
Okay, I love it. Hi, I'm Shanna Skidmore. I own a business consulting company that works with female owned small business, a lot of moms, and I just love it. My background is in finance. I am a former Fortune 100 financial advisor. After 7 years of working in finance, I was told that my job would become traveling 4 days a week and I would see my family on the weekends. And I knew that that's not the life that I wanted. So I thought, well, what if I just tried to do this myself? So in 2013, I officially started a business consulting company because I know finance, a lot of small businesses are owned by women. Finance is a male dominated industry. So a lot of small business owners have questions about their money and they feel intimidated to go talk to somebody in finance, right? And so I thought, well, why don't I be the bridge? Why don't I be someone who's approachable, friendly, can talk about lipstick and loves numbers and can be their champion, can value the fact that oh, you love flowers and you're building $1 million floral design business. Great. Let's get behind it. Whereas I feel like a lot of times they don't feel taken seriously. And so I started this company and was coaching people one-on-one. I mostly talk about finance and work-life balance, and it just grew really, really fast. So in 2016, we launched my course called the Blueprint Model, which is a business program for creative entrepreneurs, moms, and women-owned businesses. And it's just thrived and grown so much. And I'm just really passionate now, also as a new-ish mom, to allow other moms to work for themselves and to make money doing it while also getting to show up as, in their family the way they want to. It's just the biggest gift. So now I mostly just teach and educate through our courses on finance and work-life balance, but it's such a dream.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, and one thing about me.
Yeah, tell me your fun fact.
My fun fact. Okay, do you know Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby?
Mm-hmm. Do you know all the words?
Throwback. Every word, as probably all 80s kids ever do.
Oh, that was always on my to-do list.
As you should. Yeah. It's never too late. It's never too late, Stephanie.
Never too late. That's so good. That's so good. That is just the exact right kind of energy we need here. Because I like you, I'm going to refrain from asking you to prove it. That's just not a nice thing to do to someone without any warning. So I'm not going to do it.
Especially, since I have no social media and I refrain from social media, this would be something that should be TikToked, but I get to opt out because I opted out of social media.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That is a whole thing we could talk about too. Well, okay. So we have some women in our community who are small business owners, but we have more women in our community who are people who have to do money.
Yeah.
That's just most of us. And one of the things that I love that you've done is, you've offered business owners so much freedom, helping them understand what's coming in, what's going out, how to manage it, what they need, how to define what enough is for them. And I love that I don't know when this happened exactly, but you've started to translate it for the rest of us, for anyone who doesn't own a small business.
Yeah.
Just how to manage your finances in life.
At home.
How did that happen?
Yeah. Okay. Well, funny enough. So my first 5 years after college, I did personal finance, mostly for business owners. So sneaky little fact, most financial advisors don't do budgets. So never did I help someone with a budget as I should have, but financial advisors don't do that. So if you've ever been frustrated trying to get help budgeting, it's for a reason, because financial advisors don't really do that. But so for the first 5 years, I helped people with insurance and investing and like personal finance things. And then I moved over into the corporate finance side. So I started working with a fashion designer under a private equity firm. So I always say, like, think Shark Tank, but not Shark Tank. But essentially, I was hired to help this business turn around, like a turnaround specialist. And so I would come in and help with profit and loss. So it was only after 5 years that I really got into the business side. Before that, I was on the personal side. So then when I started my own company and I started helping business owners understand their business money, what I realized is, what is going to put pressure on your business faster than anything else? Well, it's needing money at home. It's feeling broke at home. It's needing to understand your money at home, your home budget. How much do you need to pay yourself? Like that, so many business owners don't go into their business knowing that. So that's where I started going back to my roots, honestly, and talking about personal finance and home budgeting, often for people who own their own business or have fluctuating income, if you get paid with commission, because it is hard to create a budget when you don't know exactly how much is coming in every single month. And most budgeting educators out there assume everyone in life lives on a salary, which most people don't. Most people, even if you have a salary, you get a bonus or a commission, and so it's been really awesome to kind of really get back to how I started and talking more about not just how to make money, but like you said, how to manage it well. And because that's what it's all about, right?
There's a temptation. I think, I don't know, you guys can tell me if this is just me or if this is all of us. I think this is all of us. But like, money can feel so scary. And also, like, the amount of, like, this is just so random, but right before we got on this call, I was on the phone with my credit card company trying to like get some money back / stop a subscription that we cannot get stopped. It's just been so frustrating. I think the company like kind of shut down. And so we haven't been able to take care of that. And we also kind of haven't taken care of it because we've been doing so many other things for so long.
You moved to Spain.
Yeah. We moved to Spain. Yeah. We had 2 kids. We've launched a book, all kinds of things. And so like that, $30 a month charge, we've just kind of let it go. But it's been like a long time now. And so it's things like that where it's like understanding what's coming in versus what's going out. There's just a lot of moving parts. And I know for me, there are times when I just feel like I want to put my head down and like cover my eyes and cover my ears and just like tune out, like not think about it, not face it. And I think that a lot of us feel that way. Can you tell me, like, paint a picture? I mean, we all know that that's not the right answer, but can you kind of like paint a picture for me of like, no, really, this is why it's important to really face this head on, and what happens if we don't?
Yeah. Well, I think that the biggest thing is realizing that it doesn't have to be so complex. I think a lot of people, like you said, are afraid of money and have fear around money or have a lot of feelings around money and maybe feel a lot of shame and guilt, or I'm not doing it right. Like even confusion, just confusion. Like, what am I even? It's hard to even get started. And so I think if we can create, my hope and what I do with my clients and my students is if we can just simplify it, if we can simplify it to a few tasks every month or a few tasks every year, if you know where to start, it makes getting started so much easier. But what I always tell people, we aren't going to do anything hard until we know why, until we know the reward, until we know the payoff. So if you were to put into, it's called a future income calculator, I think, or something like that. I'll text you after. And so you can tell. If you were to put $30 a month, instead of spending it on this subscription, and instead were to put it like into an investment account or something, if you were to see what that $30 a month would turn into in 10 years from now, you would have called this company 3 years ago and gotten rid of it. Like, I think we just feel like a little something today is, it's too much of an inconvenience. None of us have excess time. Like, we're not running around like, I've got so much time, I'm so bored. Like, what am I going to do? I don't want to sit on the phone with a credit card company for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's hard. It's hard to carve out the time to do something that is not fun and is typically not fun. And so I just always think, number one, we have to make it fun. What is the bigger picture? What is the goal? What is the boat you want to buy or the move to Spain that you want to do? And then for things like, hey, I'm spending $30 extra, or why does this even matter? It is amazing what just $30 a month saved into an account can do for you in 10 years. And so when you start to realize that thing, it's like, I can do this. I just have to start small and I just have to carve out time. And instead of thinking of it as drudgery, think about the like why behind it. Stephanie, is that like, okay, we can do this thing? I'm happy to unpack that more, but
no, I think that's
so many
that's
people
great.
go through their life thinking, wow, one day when I'm rich, or one day when I make this much money, one day I'll have that boat. One day I'll move to Spain. One day I'll, whatever it is, pay off my house, have no debt. One day I'll pay for my kids to go to college. But one day comes a lot faster than we think. And if we can make baby steps today, those dreams will actually happen. And that's where I'm like, that's why it's important. That's how we can make something that isn't fun and feels like drudgery something we get excited about, because we tie it to that end goal.
I really love that. One of the things that we've talked about in moving to Spain is simplicity. And, we, in coming here, we sold our cars. We got rid of like, I don't know, probably like 9/10 of all of our stuff. And we've cut down on our expenses in our life significantly as well. And this is like, we're sort of at the tail end of it, of being like, okay, what else can we cut? Also, why is that still like, why do we still have that subscription? But part of what we've been talking about with it is like that $30 is going to buy something. And so like, what's the best thing that it could buy? And so maybe it is an investment in the future. Maybe it's like a really good meal, or maybe it's a like present for our kids, or maybe it's, it could be all, give it to someone who needs it. There are so many different ways that $30 can be spent, and it's going somewhere. And so we want to be more like, you quiet some of the noise so we can be more intentional about really like where our time is going and where our money is going, and just not like gather some of the extra so we can use it for something that really matters to us.
I love, Stephanie, like, and you're talking about $30, which has been a pain. I also want to just bring up like the mental energy that this is stealing from you every single month. For anyone listening, like, money isn't easy. Money isn't easy for me. Making a phone call to a credit card company or trying to figure out a health insurance bill, like, it is irritating how much time those little things take. And so oftentimes we just put it off. And so for me, I carve out time every single month. The Stephanie, I call it my money date. And I do one of, I balance my budget. I look at our numbers. I see where everything's going. But those are the moments in the month that I do these tasks that I don't want to do, because I don't want to do them either. Even though I love numbers and I love spreadsheets, I don't want to get on a phone to a credit card company. I don't want to cancel some bill that's been coming out. But it's just, when you can get that out of your mental energy, it's going to feel so much. And for you, it might be a $30 subscription that you're not using. But for other people, it could be $300 of a subscription. It could be, there's so much change that we can make within our own finances, just if we take the time to pay attention and say like, wow, I have found in my business where I've been paying for the same subscription multiple times. Like I had multiple subscriptions. I mean, I didn't like, what happened? Because we have a lot of people on our team. And so like they might've bought it, or, and so it's like, wow, that's a waste. And so it's still, it's tedious, but when you find those little things, it's like, hey, let's fix it. And again, I only do that once a month. And that's what I think makes it helpful. Money doesn't have to be a constant conversation. Money doesn't have to be a constant to-do list because there's not much about it. In this case, like calling a credit card company, it's not fun. And just be like, this isn't fun, but that's okay. We're going to get rid of it. And then we're moving on. You don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how, like, to your point with the mental load, like the space that it takes up, it's $30, but like for that subscription, like it's not my subscription. It was something that my husband Carl signed up for a while ago. And so it's not only it's on both of our to-do lists. Because I'm the one that's like, if I'm the one who's like itemizing things and like looking at our budget or whatever, I see it. He doesn't do that as like with as much detail. He's more like, he does more bigger picture stuff for us. But it's his account, but he doesn't have the login anymore because the account, like, because the company doesn't exist anymore. And so it's this whole thing where it's going to take him a while. And also I feel like I can't move forward until he does it, and like who's going to take care of it, and okay, there's like all these roadblocks. And I feel like that is the truth with so many of these things where it's like, okay, well, but I lost my password, but okay, so this is like, and now it's a thing that you may need to talk to like a family member or your spouse or something, and like now it's a point of contention, or it's like it's never just the thing. But
Absolutely.
I think when we tackle the thing and like actually figure out, like, I still need to figure out how we cancel this subscription, but now I'm on a mission. Like this thing is ending. But like once we can check it off, not only is the small thing taken care of, but also all the space that it took up and mental and relational space.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think a lot of people avoid their finances. If we can really think about like, why are we avoiding it, and name that. For you, it's time. The time is going to take to fix it. It's probably why you've put it off for so long. Okay, how can we just carve out the time? And for me, again, every single month I sit down and I just, look at our finances, pay bills. For me, that gives me a short amount of time to do something that is maybe not the first thing I want to do that day, but it's done and it's over. And I just love what you said. When people avoid their money, it's not like they don't think about it. It takes up so much mental energy. And so if we kind of flip the script and say, instead of just avoiding and thinking about this all the time, let's just carve out one day a month to actually just look at it, to dive in, to do the hard thing, because that will be more free. It's like we avoid it so much because we think it's going to be so hard, but I think avoiding it becomes harder. Mm-hmm. It becomes the living rent-free in your mind kind of thing. So anyways.
One of the things that you talk about, that I've heard you talk about, is this idea of financial freedom. And I think that sometimes we think, I don't know, just like a lot of things, that looks one way. Like, to be financially free, I need to ... Or like, this person is financially free, I must be like them to feel that same freedom. Can you define it for us and sort of help us define it for ourselves?
I think that the first goal should be financial security. So that means you can pay your bills, you can cover everything at home. You aren't stressed in that way about money. So financial security, I believe, should be goal number one. Then from there, I feel like financial freedom is not having to make money. It's having enough saved. It's having all of your debts paid off. It's getting to this point where you don't have to think about money ever again. To me, that feels like that is the ultimate goal, is to have paid off your debt and saved enough that you could live on your savings should you not be able to work. Like, that to me would be financial freedom. But that takes a long time that can take a long time to get there. And I feel like, I don't know if you've sensed this, Stephanie, but like with the growth of small business and female-owned businesses, coinciding with social media, we see a lot of people making a ton of money and showing everything they're buying with that money and how the lifestyle that they're living with that money. But we don't see, I feel like I have this unique privilege. I would say the reel behind the highlight reel. I see the mortgages. I see the debt. I see the things they aren't going to show online because we all are going to put our best face forward on the internet. So I always just want to tell people, like, at the end of the day, can you pay your bills? What is your peace of mind number? Like, what makes you feel secure? That should be goal number one. And then from there, saving and investing, paying off debt to the point where, like, you could go a year without an income, 2 years without an income. That would be freedom. I would think that would be freedom. Because at some point we all have to get there, where we are going to stop working and we have to pay our bills still. So that's what I think about it. What do you think about financial freedom? What does that mean to you, Stephanie?
Ooh, turning the table.
Turned it around on you.
I've kind of jumped into this world of personal finance in the last couple of years, and not enough to like be able to talk about it intelligently, but enough to it's like I kind of know who the people are in the room or I have a vague idea of what the different kind of philosophies or goals are. And so there are all kinds of different methods and goals for being financially free. Some people are like, work as hard as you can, save as much as you can, as fast as you can, and then retire super early. To me, I love working. And so retiring at, insert age here, that doesn't feel like something I'm really striving for. I think that financial freedom to me is, not worrying and being able to, I think a really important thing to me is to be able to do work that I love, is to be able to afford to do work that I love. And that's because we spend so much of our time working that, or I guess even work like I like, it doesn't have to be like, every day is the best day ever. But I just don't want to spend most of my life doing something I really don't like in order to make not enough money. That's the thing that I think that's the opposite to me. And then also the means to be able to do the things that we want to do. It's funny because, moving to Spain, we're in sort of a unique position. I think a lot of people feel like that's something that you save up for and then you take a year off and whatever. That's not our story. We're working the same here as we were at home. And so financial freedom to me means being able to do something like this, like move to Spain. But I'm like, actually, this was a major, this is great for our budget, the way that we did it. But being able to have a dream, have a goal, and actually do it, not put it off.
Yeah, I love it. Do work you like, not have to worry about your bills, and have some fun while you're doing it. That feels like freedom. I think retirement is becoming an old school idea. What I like to say is not like the day you quit working. I think that it's the day you choose to work. Like you could not work, like you could quit work if you wanted to. That to me feels like financial freedom. You don't have to work. You get to choose to work. And I know all of us who do our own thing, we choose to work because we like it. Yeah, we don't like it every day, but we like it. But we still have to pay the bills. I think that moment where you're like, to me, that would be the ultimate, like you don't have to worry about money ever again. But like you said, I think most of us are striving to do work we like, pay the bills, and afford the life that we dream about. That would be the dream, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is sort of switching gears just a little bit, but I'm curious. If you could go back and give your younger self a piece of financial advice, you can kind of pick the age, pick whatever age feels right to you. But I'm curious as to what you would go back and tell her.
Yeah, college would be the age I would say. And I would say to consistent saving really can change the trajectory of your life. So start small and start early. Actually, just start today. Start small and start today. That's what I would tell my college self. I think that we think about saving money and we think, oh, it needs to be 10% of my income, or I need to save into a 401k what they're going to match. But no, you can save $30 a month every single month consistently over time, and you will be amazed at what that $30 a month would become. So that would be my advice to college Shanna.
So broadening a little bit and coming back to the present, knowing that it is really easy to hide from our finances and to feel overwhelmed by them, what are 3 of the most impactful, practical things that we could do for our finances this year? Like if we don't do anything else, do these 3 things.
Okay, I love it. I would say, first I would say for sure, have a budget. So a budget, I like how Dave Ramsey says it. Instead of wondering where your money went, tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And that's all a budget is, really. It's a plan, an intentional plan for your money. And so instead of calling it a budget, because I think most people feel like a budget is a 6-letter curse word, I call it your spending plan. Where do you want your money to go? So look at how much money is coming in every single month. You can look at all of your bills and expenses going out and then create a budget. It's just a very simple budget. And it's almost like a roadmap or a blueprint or a recipe. You know, like Starbucks or any coffee shop, they have a recipe. Why do they do that? So they can get the same result every time. They can get a consistency in their drinks. That's all a budget is. It's a guide for your money. And so I think a lot of people avoid having the budgets because it feels very restrictive. I think a budget's very freeing. We give money towards what we value. I have a budget for seasonal decor pillows because I really love decorating my house.
Yes,
that's
you do.
really,
Tell me that's real. That's real.
It is real, 100%. I don't want to feel guilty going shopping because I love home decor. Like I don't feel any guilt because I know that I've already planned for that. Whereas I don't value as much like going to get my nails done. I know a lot of friends of mine do, but that's just not my value. So I don't put money toward that. Does that make sense? So I love a budget or what I call a spending plan because it's like I know that my money is going towards the things I value and not just being spent without me thinking about it. And so, we have budgets for our house cleaner. We have budgets for our hobbies. We have money set aside. When I say a budget, money set aside for the things that we value. And that makes me feel good. Every time that I go to spend money on something, I don't feel guilty for getting my hair done because that costs a crazy amount of money. Like,
oh my gosh, yes,
so much. That would be number one. I would say, tell your money where to go. Sit down, look at how much money you have going in. How much do you have to pay the bills? And then where do you want the rest of it to go? Because if you don't choose, it will be spent on convenience. Going out to eat, whatever is convenient in the moment. And you'll look back and be like, is that where I would have chosen for my money to go? And that's the worst feeling like, wow, I would really love to move to Spain, or I would love to buy a different car. And knowing that you could have done that with just a little bit of intentionality. So that's what I'd say. Number one, start a budget. That'd be great. Second, I would say have a money date. So a money date truly started with my husband and I. We would go on a date because talking about money isn't always fun. So we wanted to make it fun. So we called it our money date. And so we would go out to eat, or we would go to a coffee shop or something, and we would talk about our goals and our spending and just go on a money date. So that's what I would tell everyone listening. Carve out one day a month or 1 hour a month, whatever it is, start small. Just look at your money. Where is it being spent? Is there anything that you're like, oh, wow, we shouldn't be paying this subscription twice. Let's get rid of that. Like, just take a look. Print off your bank statements, pull up your bank statements, and just take a look. And I have on my website a lot of money date checklists where people can go like, what do I go do on my money date? What do I even look at? I have some checklists on my, I'm happy, Stephanie, I can send you the links to those where you can just download, like, this is what to do on your money date for either your business or just your personal finances. So that's what I would say. Start a budget and then go on a money date. And last but not least, I do this in business and I do it personally. The only time that we are going to do something hard, whether it's eat out less or pay off debt or anything hard, is to have the greater vision in mind. And so if you've never sat down, I call this your dream boat document. I have a course called Blueprint at Home for personal finances, mostly for entrepreneurs or people who work on a fluctuating income. We call it our dream boat document because I grew up on the lake with my church youth group, but my family never had enough money to like buy a boat. And so I was like, wow, it would really be making it if I could buy a boat one day. That would be like in my mind, I have made it. I own a boat. And so we called it your dream boat document. It's where you sit down and you're like, what is your dream? What do you, Stephanie, like moving to Spain? Okay, what does it actually cost to move to Spain? What would it take to live in Spain every single? It is amazing. It's so cool, Stephanie, that you just did this. Like when you sit down and list out your dreams and what they actually cost, so many of them are probably a lot more doable than you think. And so when somebody says, oh, Shanna, I want to save more money, or I want to pay off debt, or I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that? Well, if I ate out 3 less times a month, that'd be $150 extra, and I could do this with it. Like we're only going to do the hard thing if we know the greater vision. So if you have not ever sat down, or anyone listening, and made your dream boat document, like what do you get fired up about? What do you get excited about? And I also think this is the best way to approach talking about money as a couple. Because a lot of couples like have a lot of tension when it comes to talking about money. And often that's because they have different goals. I like to shop for seasonal decor pillows. Like I need a budget for that. Kyle, my husband, could not care less. Whereas he has a lot of expensive hobbies like flying airplanes. He cares about that. He wants a budget for that. I think guys tend to have expensive hobbies. So it's like, okay,
I was just thinking like golf, like, yeah, my husband's a golfer
hobbies.
And I'm like, why is this so like, yeah, golf is not a cheap hobby.
But so it's like, okay, if you could know that, wow, I'm getting money towards what I value and he's getting money towards what he values, it makes talking about money so much less tense because it's often in the like, why are you spending so much? And so I love sitting down, doing this dream boat together and be like, wow, you would love to go on this trip. That's awesome. And I would love to buy this thing. Okay, let's see how we can do that together.
Yeah. Something that we've had to kind of figure out a lot, especially in the last, 3.5 years since our girls were born, is that, but with time and specifically like time with friends or time, Carl's college friends take like pretty awesome golf trip every year. And that's like a week when he's gone. And that's used to not be a big deal. But then when you have two tiny babies at home, it's like, I'm going to be here for a week by myself. Like, that's crazy. And we know couples who, when one of them goes away, the one who's away spends the whole time feeling guilty and the one at home spends the whole time feeling mad. And we decided really early that we did not want to do that. We want the person who's away to be away and to feel so free and to have the best time, because that's the best thing for our whole family, is for them to come back like filled up. And then, so that's on the person who's at home to be like, go. I don't need your help. Don't think about us. Don't feel guilty. Like, don't waste this. Just go. And I feel like that's worked out so well for us. And I mean, it even is down to like this last weekend, we did like kind of a guy's night out and then a girl's night out. And like during the guy's night out, I know that my night is tomorrow night. So it's like, oh yeah, like go enjoy this. I'm going to go tomorrow.
I love it.
But I feel like that really is true with money too, where like if he knows he gets to fly airplanes, that's so cool. You also know that you get to buy seasonal pillows, and like that's,
I know. I feel good.
You look forward to that.
And I think so many people, I had a couple years and years ago who really struggled to get on the same page with their finances. And we sat down, and the husband really valued saving money and paying off debt. And the wife really valued travel. And she loved to travel. That was really important to her. Well, everybody thinks that debt reduction and saving money is smart. That's responsible. That's the responsible thing to do, is to save money and to pay off debt, right? And so she always felt like her dreams were not valued because they were irresponsible. And I think when we finally got to sit down and say, it's great that you value debt reduction and savings. That's really good. Let's earmark some money for that. And then the wife really values travel. Let's earmark some money for that too. And I'm always careful to say the amounts don't have to be equal. You don't have to say, you get $5,000 towards your hobby and I get $5,000 towards mine, because I don't need $5,000 worth of seasonal decor pillows. Mine just aren't as much. It's not about having the same amount for most people. It's about feeling valued and heard. And I think just being able to say, like, yeah, maybe we're not going to put as much money down towards debt reduction and savings, but we're going to earmark some of that towards travel. Just, it changes the whole conversation, because now both people have been heard. And I think a lot of women especially struggle with this, because a lot of us like to shop or eat good food or travel, and those things feel frivolous. And that's not the best. I feel like the world of personal finance is like, save money, pay off your debt, and don't do anything fun. That's the only way you can be a good financial steward of your money. And it's like, no, I actually think putting more money towards things you value and you dream about are the motivators that will keep you going to save money and reduce debt. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so wait, you said someone's going to go, you stopped at 2. Okay, so we said
start a budget.
Do a budget.
Have a money
date. What's number 3?
And write out your dreams. Write out your dream boat.
That was the third one. Have you gotten a boat yet?
It's funny. No. I still don't have a boat. Isn't that shocking? Well,
what are you doing? I mean, the dream might have changed.
What am I doing with my life? Truly, what am I doing with my life?
That's literally what I was asking. What are you doing with your life?
Literally this year, because we live very close to the lake, a lot of our neighbors have boats. I looked at Kyle and was like, so why don't we have a boat yet? It's so funny though, because it is still a dream. And it's just season of life. Like, we have a 4-month-old.
I was going to say, is it because you have a 4-month-old and because having a 4-month-old on a boat doesn't sound that fun?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. And so a few years ago, like, we were going to buy jet skis, and then we got pregnant, and then it was like, okay. And then, we're just in the season of like tiny people. We're like, maybe we'll get a kayak or a paddleboard this year. And then, but it is funny. Like, you could go through your whole life and have dreams that you could truly achieve. But if you don't take the time to do them, like, it still takes work. It's like, okay, if you love to hike and you want to go hike, I don't know, Kilimanjaro. That's a mountain people hike, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think one of my clients just did that. We won't even go there. But you still have to plan the trip. You still have to book the tickets. You still have to get the flight. Like, it's still work. And so I think oftentimes, even if we have this dream, just like you were saying with money, like, there's always work involved, but it's worth the payoff. And I think with money is people don't focus on the payoff, why they're doing it. So they just don't want to do it. And it's like, that's why I love the dream boat. Let's flip the conversation and focus on, like, why are we limiting our coffee runs to 1 a week? Well, that adds up, and we can put that money towards this big goal. When you know that delayed gratification is harder than instant gratification, but it's more rewarding.
Yeah. You're not saying fun or no fun. You're saying this kind of fun or this kind of fun, this kind of amazing thing or this kind of amazing thing.
It's funny, Stephanie, I'm going to give you one more analogy. I actually learned this. Do you remember way back in 2014, when capsule wardrobes were like all the rage? Everybody was talking about their capsule wardrobe and like you can have 30 pieces and that's all you get. And so it was so funny because I'm like, capsule wardrobe, I'm down for this. Let me do a capsule wardrobe. I don't love to shop for clothes. Home decor all day long.
Same.
Shopping for clothes is a whole thing. So I went through my clothes and I found 7 pairs of like $25, $30 jeans. 25. Okay, so little backstory. I did not grow up in a family with very much money. I've kind of mentioned that. And so I mostly wore hand-me-downs, pretty frugal in the shopping department. And I love to score myself a good deal. All right. So I feel a good deal. I love a good deal. So as I'm going through this capsule wardrobe, I found like 7 pairs of like $25 or $30 jeans because at that point in time, I could never imagine spending over $100 for one pair of jeans. I mean, that would be like, what? Like shocking. I couldn't do it. And it was this moment where I was just like, wow, I have 7 pairs of jeans that don't fit me quite right, but they were a deal and I got them for $30. And what is 7 times 30? Why can't I can't do this math. Like the $210 or something like that. I could have bought 2 pairs of $100 jeans that fit me perfectly. And loved them instead of these. And it was that moment that I was like, sometimes spending more, the delay, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if we delay the gratification, if we buy the thing that we actually want and wait just a little bit longer for it, because more than likely you're going to spend that money anyways, but you can spend it quickly and to fill the problem today or wait a little bit longer. So it was really doing my capsule wardrobe, it was like a life lesson for me. I was always carry with me.
It's so funny. I feel like jeans I'm terrible that way with like, I don't know, I wear a lot of white t-shirts, but I never want to invest in one that's like actually going to hold up. And so it just happened. I brought 2 white t-shirts with me to Spain and they both are like stretched out and like don't fit anymore and are pilling. And like, I'm like, I should have just bought a nice one. The only area of my life where I'm really good at that is actually jeans. And I'm like, I spend whatever it costs. I mean, not whatever it costs, but like I'll spend $150, even $200 for the perfect pair of jeans. And they'll be like, I don't have like sometimes I'll only have 1 pair of jeans or 2 pairs of jeans. But like those things last me years. And I'm like, I know that's better. So I need to just do that.
I have a pair of athletic, like capri pants, stretchy pants, whatever, athletic pants that I bought at least 7 years ago. And they were not cheap and I love them and I wear them all the time and I love them. And then my sister, who is so good at spotting a deal, that girl loves her a dupe, was like, Shanna, you have to go buy these pair of athletic pants because they're the dupes of this company. They're awesome and they're only $30. And I was like, cool, like I'll try them. It's just $30, right? So I bought these. I promise you, like within 6 months, they were not wearable anymore. I mean, one of them had a hole in them. And it was just this, again, another life lesson of like, sometimes it makes sense to invest in the thing you actually want. But to do that, everybody listening knows like, sometimes you have to wait until you can afford it. And that means saving up. And that's the part that's not easy to do, especially in our like instant gratification world. So there's our whole shopping conversation and money.
It's okay. Well, listen, I am so glad to talk to someone else who doesn't like shopping for clothes. I could shop for home decor all the time. I could spend all my money on travel and try to. But if someone else could just dress me, please. Like it is all I can do to not see a friend who like dresses well and be like, can you just buy 2 of those next time? Or just like, here's my credit card, just buy 2, send me 1. Honestly. I don't want to do this.
I had a friend the other day that was like, I was like, hey, where did you? So anytime I see something I like, I'm like, hey, where'd you get that? And my friend was like, oh, I got it at Dillard's. And I was like, Dillard's? I don't know the last time I went to the mall and I did not know Dillard's was still a thing. And it was just amazing to think to myself, like, time to go to Dillard's. Wow. Like that's living. That's just living. to have time to go to Dillard's. So I'm the same. I'm like, next time, can you just buy me one? Here's my size. Because I'm not going to go to Dillard's. Like, I'm just not.
No, I don't have time. I don't have time. Yep. Nope. I want to know, one of the things that I've been so fascinated by since my book came out in April is just the truth that there's not one right way to live a life, that a beautiful life is not one size fits all. And so the more examples I can find of this, the better. Like I'm hungry for them. And so I want to know, as someone who gets to sort of peek behind the scenes into people's finances and gets to have this conversation of like, this is important to me, this is not important to me. Do you have any examples you can share with us? I guess other than I love the seasonal decor pillows, of things where people are like, I'm not going to spend money on this, but I am going to spend money on this. Like like break our box open a little bit if you can.
Yeah. I think rent versus owning a home. We'll come back to that. First, congratulations on your book. That's such a huge deal. That's awesome.
You.
My goodness. Yay for you. Snaps for you. I think money is just one of those things we have for a long time. And I really think that that's changing. I think that we're getting out of the like hard held beliefs, especially when it comes to money. I think there are some things in money that will always hold true. Make more than you spend when it comes to your business. Live on less than you make. There's fundamentally things that will hold true. But I think and maybe we can thank the internet for this, showing us, letting us peek into, you get to choose how you spend your money. And if you want to live in an RV for an entire year and travel the country and work from your RV, do it. Figure out how much it costs and go and do it. And one of the things I'm hearing a lot about right now is renting versus buying a home. I think for a very long time, like our parents, our grandparents, owning a home was like, you've made it. Kind of like for me, buying a boat. You have made it when you own a home. And I think a lot of more people now are actually choosing not to own homes. They're choosing to spend their money differently because owning a home isn't just the mortgage payment. It's the taxes and the maintenance and the yard upkeep and so many other things that come along with it. And I love that more people are just asking themselves, is that what I want? Is that actually what I want? Maybe not. I think about this a lot with travel. So I think some people I know go back to the same beach and the same beach house every single year. And I'm like, gosh, there's something beautiful about that. The same smells, the same memories, the same, like you're creating something really special there. And that's why some people buy like second homes or vacation homes. And Kyle and I've talked about this a lot. Like, do we want a vacation home? And I'm like, honestly, I would rather try 500 different places than go back to this. I mean, and it's truly been a conversation because I'm a homebody. I'm a creature of habit. So I really have like, I don't know, that sounds nice to know where the grocery store is at your vacation house. But so that's the thing. Like, do you like figure out what you value and sit down and ask yourself that. Ask your spouse that. Like, that is the beauty, I think, of money and why I have dedicated my career to helping people make money and then manage it well is because money is a tool. Money is a tool to build a business. Money is a tool to build a life. It is not our goal. It is a tool. And when we can identify the goal, then it's much easier to kind of use the tool to get there. It's kind of like how people talk about, if you want to hammer a nail, you need a hammer. If you want to, obviously, this is outside my league of tools and I need a better example.
Saw something. You probably need a saw. Right?
And I'm like, if you want to make a smoothie, use a blender. If you want to make cookies, use a mixer. Like, it's the tool, right? And you need to know the goal before you know the tool. That felt better to use kitchen appliances than like shop appliances. I'm not there for that. I wasn't there for it. So I think money is the same. Like, it's so cool and freeing when you realize even the idea of like going to college. I don't know, that might step on some toes, but what is the goal of college? To get the career and job that you want. Like if you want to be an engineer, you probably need to go to college. If you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe you don't. Like, I mean, take a business class, please. But, that's why I do what I do. Because most colleges don't teach entrepreneurs business. They don't do that, which is why I have a job. So,
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. Shanna, I seriously could talk to you for 1,000 years. I'm going to just hear while the pressure's on, like not ask, but gently demand that you come back, that we can have you back on Girls Night.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank
Only
you
if we can talk about jeans and
this is what Girls Night is about. It is what it is about. It's about all of it. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the work that you do and for being a safe place in the midst of a really scary zone for most of us. And that just radiates off of you and all of your work, wisdom and safety. And that's just a real gift. So thank you for being here. Stephanie. And we're definitely going to have you back.
Would love to. Thanks for having me.